Making the algorithms happy is no easy task. I'm doing a change up. Hi there, welcome to Yarns and Yarns episode 27.1. My name is Shay McIntosh Ford and I live in Tulsa with my husband, our two boys, and our little puppy. This is a show about yarns as in fibers and yarns as in stories, and today is Tuesday, so it's all about the fibers. I am mostly a knitter, but I do crochet and a little cross stitch, and eventually I will get into spinning. I am going to be getting a Eel Wheel Nano for my birthday, or at least in time for my birthday, so it'll probably come a little earlier because I'm excited. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry, and I will link all patterns, project bags, tips, yarns, all that good stuff will be linked down below, unless it's discontinued. This was supposed to be a vlog about how my fibery week went, right? I'm having trouble sustaining this. If you're new here, I have a condition called lymphocytic colitis. It is a challenge to figure out what to eat so that I don't feel lousy all the time. And when I feel lousy, that's when I do most of my knitting. But lately, I've been feeling great. The other side of Yarns and Yarns is stories, because I am a writer. I am trying to make that my full-time moneymaker, which means I need to write a lot more books. Right now I only have two published books, and they are both coming down soon because my publisher is suspending operations. So I've got to figure out what to do. I used to be a musician. I played harp. So back there is my harp. Her name is Timmons, but the condition that I have does not allow me to play. Even now that I feel good, I still don't have the strength to book a gig. I'd have to carry everything. It's 80 pounds worth of gear, and the stress of it might make me run to the bathroom. I need to write, and that's actually what's been happening. So I think what I may end up doing is combining this back into one show. I split it up into point 1 and point 2 because I had things to talk about in both point 1 and point 2. But now, today, I have very little. So I'm going to try to stretch it out. So the first project that I'm going to talk about is living in my Whiz Bags bag. I bought this at a fiber festival, and I will link this down below. I am working on my sock. I was here the last time you saw it. Needle holder is from Magpie Wishes, which I will also link down below. The last time you saw it, I was here. It's a progress keeper that I made. I'm kind of excited about that because we are going to be getting snow finally on Wednesday. And this is all Carline knitting. Like literally, I did not work on this unless I was in the Carline. I'm almost to the toe. I've got maybe 12 more rows before I start my decreases for the toe. And I have quite a bit of yarn left. So I was thinking that my sister and her kids are coming to visit this summer, and my niece is definitely a pink and purple girl. So I was thinking about using this leftover yarn and making a pair of tube socks, and when she gets here I'll measure her foot and add in the afterthought heel. I think she'll love it. I think I'll have enough yarn for that. I'll measure it and just split it and see what I get. But for my sock, I'm doing 64 stitches, and I do the 12 rows of 2x2 rib. Use my markers to count my rows, so 10 rows per marker, and I do 70 rows for the leg. And then the white markers are where I'm going to be putting my heel. And then I do 72 rows for the foot. This colorway is called Rose, and the yarn is the Regia Cube color, which I'm showing to you, but I'll link the website down below, but I don't think they make this color anymore because I couldn't find it. And it is 75-25 polyamide. From what I can research on the internet, some people say it is nylon, some people say it's almost nylon. Whatever it is, it's apparently to give strength to the sock. But I love the color. It's so beautiful. And I think my niece will really like it too. She could be twinsies with her aunt. She's gonna love it. I am using the Likey Driftwood US size 1 2.25 millimeters needles. One thing I've noticed with my socks, because I wear them every day, I've got about 13 pair. The ones that I had made with Magic Loop are much tighter to try to get around my heel when I pull them up. I can get them on, but it's a bit of a struggle. Even though I'm using the same size needles with the double pointed needles, somehow my stitching ends up looser. That's why I prefer the double pointed needles for my socks. The socks fit me better. With the exception of my first 2 pair of socks, I guess my gauge just got tight since COVID. Because I made those 2 socks before COVID, and my gauge got a lot tighter. My very first pair of socks, I still wear them, but they are super loose on me and they flop around if I'm not wearing shoes. But that's my sock. The only other project I worked on this week is living in my Loops extra large tote shopping bag. This is now called Knit Stars. This is a free bag that they gave me the first time I showed up and bought something from them. And this has hubby's sweater. And that's it on the sleeve. That's as far as I've gotten. But it's almost done. I just need a couple more inches and then I start the cuff. But I did join the new yarn here. It was not the same dye lot, but fortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be a problem. It looks pretty identical, so that's good. So this is brioche. This pattern is brioche, so it's nice and squishy. This is acrylic yarn. It is Big Twist Renewal, 100% recycled acrylic, and it is completely discontinued, so good luck finding this stuff. If you've seen my previous episodes, I had a lot of hiccups with this yarn because I ran out, and I'm not going to go into that again. But I don't want to buy acrylic anymore unless I'm knitting for my hubby, because it's an oil product. And I am trying to navigate away from that because it's essentially plastic. But he's terrible about just tossing sweaters and anything in the washer and dryer. I mean, anything. These are our AirPods. $100 item, 150 maybe. I don't remember how much he paid for them. At least $100, more than $100. And they don't work anymore because guess what? He stuck it in his pocket, took off his pants, and tossed them in the wash. And I washed them. It doesn't matter what it is, it's gonna go in the washer. So that's why this is acrylic. And acrylic is not as warm as a wool. So that's why the brioche works so well with acrylic. I actually have a sweater's quantity of more acrylic yarn that was given to me. I didn't buy it. I'm going to make another one of these for me. But when you're talking about acrylic yarn, it's not very warm. Hopefully this is, because it's so squishy and dense and there's lots of air pockets, I'm thinking that this is going to be a much warmer sweater. I'll have to ask him how it works in the extra cold. Almost done with the sleeve. I didn't get a lot of knitting done this week, mostly because I was busy throwing my son a birthday party, which meant I had to help trying to get this house clean. I don't do well when I have to exert myself. In fact, I overexerted myself a little bit and made myself nauseous and a little sick. And some of my symptoms started creeping back up again. So I just had to veg out for a little while. So not a lot of knitting happened, not a lot of anything happened, except maybe reading. And that was it. That was all I could manage. Not a lot to show this week. I'm so sorry. That's why I think what I'd like to do is to go back to one show and maybe even rename it, because I can't guarantee anymore that I'm going to have any fibery content to show. It's going to be mostly books. I don't know. I might stick to yarns and yarns for a while, but switch it up to stories and fibers instead of fibers and stories, because I definitely am focusing on the stories. Because all the podcasters that I watch that are also readers, they are knitters, and so they show off all their knitting, all their fibery stuff, and they do their book second. Even like Novelty Knitting, she does fiber and stories like me, and it's knitting first and then the stories. I think I'm gonna have to do it backwards. Stories and fibers. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I can't sustain all of the edits for 3 episodes of stuff, because I definitely want to continue with my chronic illness journey, because I'm reaching people, I'm helping people with it. So that's definitely staying. And I definitely want to keep going with the stories, but I can't sustain the video edits of 3 different shows. It's a lot. I think I'm gonna do Tuesdays for Yarns and Yarns and Sundays for chronic illness. And that is all I have this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you get to make all the fibery things. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that little bell, and I will see you next time. Bye. There. lately,